Hello, amazing artists! Please be sure to listen to the book Art from Her Heart before getting started on this week's project. Let's learn about Clementine Hunter. Clementine Hunter was born in 1886 and she is Louisiana's most famous artist. Clementine didn't start painting until the middle of her life. She lived to be 101 years old. When she started painting, she didn't have much to paint on, and she actually had found a paint set that she started using. Clementine would use whatever she could find to paint on. She loved painting scenes of everyday life, but she also loved painting zinnias. Clementine Hunter is one of the most important self-taught American artists of the 20th century. Her works can be seen in the Smithsonian Institution, the American Folk Art Museum, the Oprah Winfrey Collection in Chicago, and countless other museums and private collections. Today, we are going to be creating a vase with some zinnias inspired by Clementine Hunter. What you want to do to get started is make a curve on the one side and a curve on the other side of the bottom part of your paper. This is going to be for the vase. Then I am actually making a curved line across the bottom. We can't see that, Mrs. Norelli. What's going on here? And then I am actually adding a handle on either side with a C shape and then another C shape. And that's how you get started with the vase. Next, you want to add the flowers. You may use markers or colored pencils or crayons, whatever you'd like to add some flowers to your vase. Get creative with it. You can make big petals or small petals. You can see my marker was actually broken for that purple flower, but it looks really cool, doesn't it? Did you know that Clementine Hunter was a folk artist? I'm going to actually read you a little paragraph from a book I have on what is folk art because I love this explanation. It says, folk art is everyday people creating extraordinary works of art. This is the basis of folk art. Folk art relies on experience, community, and heritage rather than formal training. It is art that is felt rather than taught. Deeply rooted in tradition, folk art is an artist's feelings, ideas, expressions, and customs brought to life. I love that explanation of folk art. Truly, anyone can be an artist. You can learn how to be an artist, or you can teach yourself and be inspired by others as well. Clementine never learned to read or write, so when she signed her artwork, you would see her letter C actually backwards. So as a shout out to Clementine Hunter, I want you to try to create the initials of your name backwards when you sign your artwork. Next up, I am going to create the same vase that I did last time, and this time you can see it a little bit better. And I'm going to use crayons to create the flowers first as an outline, and I'm going to use some watercolor paints. So if you have a paint set at home that you would like to use, here is a special time that you can use your paint set. What you can see is I first laid down a flat color of paint really lightly, and then I went back with a little bit of a darker color of paint. I put a little more color on my brush, and I tried to make some of the petals. So if you would like to give that a try, if you're at home and have some paints, I encourage you to give it a shot. Clementine Hunter spent her days picking cotton and flowers on the plantation, and she spent her nights painting them. If you know me, you know I loved mixed media. I love using one material and then using another material on top. So if you have any chalk pastels, you might try adding a little more chalk to your painting after it dries to see what happens. I love experimenting with different materials. And again, I'm going to sign my artwork with a backwards N, and the letter T cannot be backwards. So as a little shout out to Clementine, that is how I want you to try to sign your artwork as well. If you remember in the book Art from Her Heart, Clementine did not wait for the perfect set of paints and canvas. She used the leftovers that artists gave her. Instead of canvas, she used window shades, glass bottles, black iron skillets, and old boards, whatever she can find. You can see here, I used the back of a Cheerios box, and I'm actually using coffee to paint with. So if you get your parents' permission, you can have a little bit of their coffee in a cup with a Q-tip, and then you can try to paint like this as well. It is actually very interesting, and I encourage you, if you don't have paints but you want to paint, give it a try. There is no right time to start painting. I hope you enjoyed learning about Clementine Hunter this week, and I cannot wait to see what you create. Until next time, friends, remember to stay creative.